that digital treadmill, this is the absolute worst. And it's honestly the quickest route to entrepreneurial burnout. At the end of the day, you have a business to run, and you cannot afford to mess your marketing, risking future business.
Creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize. If you are a founder of your business and have no time to waste or really struggle to do your social media marketing, you will enjoy our Creating Reorganized show. In my day job as a psychology professor, I teach my bachelor and master students in real life how to reorganize processes in a goal-directed and future-proof way in companies. And that's what I have done for a living as a former IT strategy consultant. For my own career coaching business on the side, I can only dedicate a fraction of my time because, I prioritize care work for my little children. I face the same or similar challenges like all small business owners. So I applied all my experience and knowledge to create my other video podcast, Postdoc Transformation Show, to streamline my social media marketing and to boost sales of my coaching, e-courses, and affiliate products or services. I strategically capitalize on professional tools to scale my impact according to my vision of life. Listen and subscribe to this Creating Reorganized show so you will learn to do the same for your own business, to build the know, like, and trust factor, and to boost sales of your services or products. Please also ask your business-specific questions because for the next seasons, I envision interview episodes with aspiring and new founders like you if you want to get your creating reorganized according to your vision of life. As in every episode, at the end, I will wrap everything up from a psychological method, theory, or concept point of view. So stay tuned until the end of this episode, especially if you are my bachelor and master student in real life. I would love for you to take notes and maybe even already recognize my arguments.
Dear Creating Reorganizer, welcome back to Creating Reorganized, the show dedicated to helping business owners like you create a video podcast to promote your services and products 24/7, 365 without burnout. If this is your first time to our show, I'm your host, Professor Dr. Soei-Winkels. I'm really happy to have you here. So if you are anything like the business owners I talk to at business networking events, you know the drill, all right? So you're working constantly, you're posting everywhere on LinkedIn, Instagram, and maybe even daring to try TikTok. But your sales trickle. Well, you're getting likes, not leads. You're exhausted, not enriched. That digital treadmill, this is the absolute worst. And it's honestly the quickest route to entrepreneurial burnout. At the end of the day, you have a business to run, and you cannot afford to mess your marketing, risking future business, right? So this episode is your antidote. We're taking the guesswork, the frantic posting, and the emotional exhaustion out of your marketing. We're replacing it with science-backed strategy according to your vision of life. And we're diving into the scientific roadmap for spending your limited time and precious money smartly. So in this episode, we're covering core actionable things. The long and the short of it, that's the famous 60-40 budget rule that helps you structure your entire marketing effort for sustainable growth. And then the budgeting traps will expose the 3 cognitive biases rooted in behavior psychology that are silently killing your return on investment. If that does not ring a bell, please also listen to our episode 11 as linked in the show notes. These are the irrational decisions we all make, but which we must stop. And I'll be sharing my personal stories from my career transition from a PhD in neuroscience to an IT strategy consultant at Accenture, to a professor and a business owner, to show you how these psychological theories play out in the messy reality of running a business. This is not just theory, it's life tested. So get ready to move from frantic activity to focused profitability. Let's dive right into the 60-40 rule. The first concept you need to anchor your business strategy to comes from the rigorous work of marketing scientists Le Binet and Peter Field. This is backed by decades of data analyzing what drives sustainable long-term profit for businesses of all sizes. So it's about balancing brand building with sales activation. think of it this way. The long 60% brand building, this is your high trust, consistent content. It's about being memorable, building trust, and creating mental availability so that when a lead or potential client needs your service or product, whether today or 2 years from now, your name is top of mind. Okay? So this is where your video podcast lives, acting as your 24/7, 365 educational and trust-building showroom. This is where you need to strategize evergreen content that builds up bingeable momentum. And I strategically design all my seasons like a value ladder where I can build new episodes on the shoulders of my previous episodes. My biggest flex is to mention something, if that doesn't ring a bell, you can listen or re-listen to a previous episode as linked in the show notes or comments on my social media platforms. Okay, so I do that frequently because I am building a value ladder. This shows my listeners how I can guide them by breaking complex things into small, doable chunks and pieces, easy to process. So my first season was the foundation. My second season are deep dives and additions, all anchored in season 1. And that is something that you can do as well. Then we talk about the short. So short is the 40% sales activation. And this is the bottom of funnel work. And you know the drill. If sales funnel does not ring a bell, please also listen to our episode 8 as linked in the show notes. It's the immediate call to action. It's the limited time discount, the targeted ad, the direct sales outreach. It drives sales today, and we can use social media platforms for that. But here's the brutal truth. For us, time-poor business owners, when we're burned out and desperate for revenue, we instinctively dedicate 100% of our effort to the short-sighted things, right? Like posting on social media and waiting for someone to respond. When someone hits the like button, writes a comment, or shares our content, our brain, and specifically the nucleus accumbens, releases the neurotransmitter dopamine. So we feel instantly gratified, rewarded, and happy. But that's short-sighted. Social media engagement does not 100% necessarily convert into sales, but nevertheless, we feel constantly seen, liked, and boosted. And then we tend to hang out on social media to get the next dopamine rush. That, ironically, is what leads to the burnout and the low return on invest. Because you deplete the brand trust, neglecting working on your brand, operations, and delivery, and you completely exhaust yourself. And I was deep in that trap years ago, especially in my early days as a digital business owner. I thought the key was maximum activity, being all over the place. I was on all the social media platforms trying to create unique individual videos and following trends for each platform. And, my content was coherent, yes. It was my brand voice, yes. But it was still too scattered around because I was trying to chase too many moving targets. So it was frankly exhausting. And I was getting a lot of likes, a lot of engagement, but I learned the hard way that likes did not always translate into sales, okay? So I was trading my personal time for arbitrary vanity metrics, completely operating in the short-term activation panic. So my pivot, luckily, was realizing I had to reorganize my content creation workflow to prioritize the long, right? So now my entire content supply chain starts with one foundational asset, my 30-minute to 1-hour video podcast episode. This is 60% my brand builder. It's the comprehensive trust-based content that shows my expertise. And the beauty of this system is that my short-term sales activation now takes care of itself almost. Okay, so my social media content is directly derived or stemming from that one big episode every week. It's not creative guesswork. It's a standardized execution workflow. I never run out of social media content, and I can now outsource that to another team member as needed. So this frees up my time to do in my business what really moves the needle. Going to network events, engage personally, and making high trust sales, and making sure that what we deliver is high quality. So that's the work-life balance I want for all of you. To implement the 60-40 content strategy, you need to master content atomization, like an atom. And that's where our secret weapon, Descript, comes in. But Descript is a great tool for all business owners. You can record your 1-hour-long video podcast, and then Descript automatically transcribes everything. So instead of painstakingly trying to write out everything that there is, and I've been there, done that, you have everything what I say now in writing. And then you can easily correct it if it's not picked up correctly. But essentially, it's 95% correct. And now you can edit the whole video like a Word doc, okay? So this is really easy. This is how I quickly grab the best 30-second to 60-second pieces that I can then, polish up and schedule out to TikTok and Instagram and so. So if you like, you can see how I use my video, audio, and closed captions with my signature branded Creating Reorganized video backdrop on my TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Instagram handles as linked in the show notes. And this is how you can fuel your 40% short sales activation for all your social media platforms with minimal effort. It's the definition of leveraging technology to save your time. Instead of having uncoordinated multiple engines on social media platforms, which, at the end of the day, won't run by themselves, you have your video podcast as one long-term strategic source that feeds all your social media activities mechanically. So someone else can take over that. And that's also a leadership plus IT governance insight from my experience. By the way, you can thank me later. All right. So step 1 is clear. Stop the frantic 100% short chase. Allocate your core creative energy to your video podcast. That's the long 60%. And then let tools like Descript handle the efficient execution of your social media activation. That's the short 40%. Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about the first of 3 cognitive traps that we must avoid to protect your return on invest. Number 1, the sunk cost fallacy. This bias is responsible for more wasted time and money than almost anything else in business. It's that emotional monster of entrepreneurship. It's the voice in your head that whispers, "You can't quit now. Look at all the time and money you have already invested." And it tricks you into throwing good resources after bad, simply to avoid the feeling of a loss. But scientifically, a sunk cost is an expenditure that cannot be recovered. It should be irrelevant to your future decisions. Your decisions must be based on future costs and future benefits, not past sacrifices. And this fallacy is really a killer for us business owners. The sunk cost is often our personal uncompensated time, our late night shifts, our family sacrifices. My own post-doc transformation video podcast is a perfect example of this fallacy and how I overcame this. I honestly poured so much effort into that show, driven by pure passion. But here was the hard data. There was not a lot of money. The audience was too niched down. Very few scientists compared to business owners. That's a numbers game. And my ethically driven decision to not take money from financially precarious young scientists limited my revenue stream. The textbook answer would have been to shut it down immediately. But I applied the science of strategy. I did not eliminate the sunk costs, but I strategically reevaluated the asset's function. I reframed it. I realized that the post-doc transformation show is now my showroom. It's a living, breathing demonstration of how I create a professional, consistent, and strategically planned video podcast that operates 24/7, 365. It's the proof of concept that allows me to sell my high-value digital marketing expertise and my premium Creating Reorganized podcasting service to my established business owners and entrepreneurs. I did not eliminate the sunk costs, but I strategically reframed it and repurposed the asset it created. Now over to you. To escape this trap, if you experience that as well, you must focus on the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the potential profit you give up by pursuing one option over the other. So ask yourself, what profitability activity am I losing by continuing this failing strategy? So to make this rational decision, you need impeccable data. Data is hurtful, but it helps you, right? So this is why active campaign is so important. As a premium service-based business owner, you need to track the true return on investment of every campaign, every lead magnet, and every video podcast episode, for example. So active campaign allows you to trace a potential client's journey from watching your video podcast to signing up for your list to becoming a paying a customer. If the data shows the project has a low converting journey, you have the rational, scientific evidence to cut the cord. It's always data over emotion every time. And that is also what I teach my bachelor and master students in real life. Business decisions need to be grounded in data, not emotions. Emotions are the glue for learning, but data lead us to what needs to be learned to be future-proofed. So step 2 is stop looking backward. Base your decisions in business only on the future benefits versus the opportunity costs, all right? So in one tangentially related episode of my Post-op Transformation show, I said that there is a reason why the back mirror is smaller than the whole front window, right? And maybe you want to listen to that rather for, mindset addressing reasons. That is episode 58, creating a time capsule, as linked in the show notes. All right, let's go to the third and final cognitive trap, which is the anchoring bias. So this one is particularly relevant for premium service-based businesses, and it's the primary reason why many of you aren't charging what you're truly worth. The anchoring bias is when an arbitrary number, a previous price you charged, a competitor's low ball rate, or even the first salary you made gets stuck in your head and unfairly dictates your current high-value pricing decisions. And that initial number becomes the anchor, and it pulls your rational price down. It's a huge threat to your return on investment. And I fell, of course, victim to that. When I started my coaching business, I was still mentally anchored to a price point that made sense for a grad student or a scientist leaving their job. Even though I had years of high-level IT strategy consulting experience, that low price point was actually not worth my time and did not reflect my massive opportunity costs. I realized that I had to use my experience in business to fix this. Fortunately, in my time at Accenture, I was tasked to derive, print, and turn in the bills for our consulting services for the whole team. So I knew the billable, chargeable hours. I knew the hours claimed, and most importantly, I knew my worth for my client, also in comparison to my team members and my supervisors. That was such a valuable anchoring experience. And additionally, I learned to go after the chief level clients because that would immediately increase the value of my time billed and also the chance to be extended when less valuable consulting work was to be stopped. To cut the story short, today I teach my students the importance of ABC customer categorization and the Pareto principle. That's the 20% of the clients who bring in 80% of the revenue. So my pivot was to realize I needed to only attract and nurture A customers, the premium sales business owners who earn a lot, the one trust-based sale, and are looking for a done-for-them premium solution. The effort for me is similar, but the financial lever is dramatically different. This new premium client group allowed me to set a new high-value anchor, the value of my time and the massive return on invest I provide. My video podcast is essential here because premium clients buy trust, expertise, and a unique point of view, not low prices. By positioning my expertise through my show, I instantly established my high-value anchor, making the low-price competitors irrelevant. To successfully implement this pivot, you need two things: a professional gateway, and performance data. So the professional gateway is what I use to pre-qualify my A customers and set that high-value anchor from the first interaction. I use Typeform for my qualification surveys and onboarding forms. The beautiful design, the clear and conditional logic, the streamlined user experience scream premium and filter out tire kickers who are only anchored to low prices or getting things for free. It's an automated gatekeeper. I choose to serve them for free via my video podcasts because negotiating low prices is a waste of my time, to be honest. And once you land your premium clients, you need to track the performance of your entire marketing system to rationally justify the premium price you are asking. This is where Metricool is a powerhouse for you. It not only lets me schedule and post automatically on all my social media platforms, it also pulls the data from all your social media platforms and your website into one place. I don't look at my Facebook comments on Facebook. I look at all my comments from all my social media platforms within Metricool. It shows you exactly which social clips are resonating, which platforms are driving your most qualified traffic, like LinkedIn versus Instagram versus TikTok or so. The direct impact of your long game, trust, and your short game, sales. This data becomes the unshakable foundation for your high-value anchor. So step 3 is stop letting past expectations or low-cost competitors set your value. Use your expertise to define your A customer and set a new high-value anchor based on the return on invest you deliver for your client. I honestly love my video podcasting system, Creating Reorganized, because this is where the principles we discussed, the 60-40 rule, escaping sunk costs, setting a premium anchor, come together. My Creating Reorganized show is a showroom, like my postdoc transformation show. It's a sales agent 24/7, 365, and a brand builder all in one. To achieve this low burnout, high return on invest machine, you don't need 1,000 tools. You just need a simple, powerful, and integrated ecosystem. And this is the Creating Reorganized tech stack, chosen specifically because all the tools I chose solve the business owner's problems: cost effectiveness, simplicity, and scale. These tools are your automation agents. They replace hours of manual effort and guesswork with precise, repeatable, and scalable workflows. This is how you reclaim your time to prioritize your family, your hobbies, and your life. Just like I do with my professorship, picking up my kids, learning with them for their school. So let's quickly run through the essential tools. Let's start with Podbean. This is your simple all-in-one platform for reliable hosting and distribution to all major podcast players. It makes complex hosting and monetization easy. It allows for both free and premium content, tying directly into the episode 6, where we talked about the strategies of mixing free content versus paid offers. And then we have Descript. This is your key to the 60-40 rule. It's AI-powered video editing for fast content optimization. It's essential for avoiding the burnout of creating content from scratch for every social media platform. And then we have ActiveCampaign, which is your powerful data-rich customer relationship management. It tracks the A customer journey from initial video podcast consumption, engagement to paid conversion, fighting the sunk cost fallacy with cold, hard data. And then we have Typeform. This gives you the professional gateway. It uses beautiful design and conditional logic to set your premium anchor and pre-qualify those A customers right from the gate. Then we have Metricool, which is your unified analytics dashboard. It pulls data from all your social media platforms and website, providing the objective, rational evidence needed to break both the anchoring bias and sunk cost fallacy. And then if you want to host an e-course, use Thinkific. This is your easy platform for hosting online courses, digital products, and also showing how you care for your community. It's perfect for building the scalable long-term revenue stream for your premium offers that you discussed when setting your high-value anchor. So this system is built for resilience, networking, and leveraging technology. And speaking of leveraging technology, the science, all the strategy, and all this tech stack integration. It's what I do every day for myself, and that's what I'm building for a select group of clients. If you are an established business owner who can afford a premium white label service done for you to market your business and you're looking to scale, we see you. We know you need brand awareness, consistent content creation, and lead generation, but you don't have time to master all this science and tech. We are putting the final strategic pieces in place for the Creating Reorganized podcasting service. We handle the entire scientific workflow for you, from strategy to production to distribution and funnel setup. We solve the I don't have time, the I don't know where to start, and the I need professional quality problems. We're offering a unique, supportive, cutting-edge premium service. Keep an eye out on our pages for the launch details. I haven't launched it yet, but you want to be on my waitlist. So let's quickly review the 3 concepts that we have just covered to stop your marketing burnout. Ditch the burnout by embracing the 60-40 rule and anchor your creative effort to the long game brand building of your video podcast. You can escape the sunk cost fallacy. You need to use data like from ActiveCampaign or another customer relationship management tool to focus on opportunity costs. You need to ditch the doubt. Break the anchoring bias by defining your premium A customer and setting your value based on their return on invest. So remember, your unique brand voice and point of view are your strongest assets against the AI content inflation. Your personal story is the trust shortcut that leverages those psychological heuristics. To continue your learning and build your foundation, go back and listen to related deep dives like episode number 4 on seasonal strategies to avoid burnout, number 1 on why you need a video podcast to build trust and boost sales, and number 6 on the best mix of free content versus paid offers. Maybe also number 9, because we're talking about AI here, on how to balance human and AI efforts. Every episode is a step toward making your business work for your life, not the other way around. And our next episode 16 next week will be our season 2 finale. Woohoo! It's called Future-Proof Your Business: How to Turn Your Personal Brand into an Automated Sales Machine. So stay tuned. Until then, we wish you a happy creating reorganized according to your vision of life.
Do you want to start your own side business as a runway for your better future? Then you will benefit from our free business readiness quiz as linked in the show notes. Are you a small business owner and want to create sustainable marketing and sales content? Try video podcasting about your service or product, like I do in my postdoc transformation show. I'm a mom of 2 kids in school and a professor, and I have no time to lose running my business. And if you also want to save time and energy, use our Dovetail Evergreen strategy. You can easily derive countless valuable social media content from just one video podcast episode. You can quickly attract a broad audience across many social media platforms and then nurture them into leads and clients in their ears and emails while you live according to your vision of life. Let me teach you Creating Reorganized. If you're ready to dive in and start your own podcasting journey, I highly recommend checking out the tools I mentioned earlier: Podbean, Descript, Typeform, ActiveCampaign, Thinkific, and Metricool. Each of these services has made my podcasting business experience smoother and more efficient, and I trust that they can help you too. Thank you for listening to our Creating Reorganized show. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, share it with your business friends, and leave a review on your favorite podcast player. Your feedback helps me as a small business owner to serve more small business owners for free, so thank you. I'm your host, Professor Dr. Soei-Winkels, and now I wish you a happy Creating Reorganized according to your vision of life.